Papa. You know Papa?
Figuratively, he bites as hard as he can.
Okay.
And of course, when he puts his fangs into you, you certainly feel it. I think it pretty much.
Watch Johnny's bite.
Bismillahir Rahman Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? And yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runneth over, and surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. Assalamu alaikum. It's Monday. Welcome to Johnny's Bite. Over the weekend, the NDC in Tamale converged, and we saw faces that for a long time we've known in the media: Kofi Otridako, Shamima Muslim, Al-Hassan Suhini, who left the media and is now a member of parliament for Tamale North, and many others. Reignite their journey towards winning power for 2025. We had previously seen the MPP do or hold similar fashions, and we have spoken about it here. So we will also have that extended discussion on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. You want to stay with us and follow the conversation. Last week, I promised you that we'll get back to some of the issues that we had spoken about at the University of Ghana. And I had told you that we're going to run a series of the issues at the University of Ghana. We had only put out one document. Well, the University of Ghana had issued a rejoinder. We will share that rejoinder with you, and then we will also share the 6 other documents that we have with you, so that as the public, as is our duty as the press, to tell you what is happening in our state institutions, as we have done here with HEFRA, with ICOR, with the Ministry of Agri, Ministry of Health, and other ministry or department or agency. You will get the chance to know what's happening on the ground, and then you get the chance also to make up your mind, because we are not supposed to be sebi thinking for you. So we'll do that sometime this week. Now, did you know that Dr. Philip Bano of HEFRA has been given a contract extension? And a bed whispered to me that, it's a post-date, what do you call it? A backdated contract extension. I said, I don't know about that. But if somebody comes from within the stock to tell you that this is a backdated thing, and you go and do your checks and you find out, it shakes you. It shocks you because you have been told previously on the 5th of August of 2020 that because of the situation we find ourselves, 2022, sorry, because of the situation we find ourselves, no, it's 2020. Because of the situation we find ourselves in and how bad our economy has become, and because the administration maybe agrees with Mr. Kweku Kwating, who says that our economy is being run like a Ponzi scheme, Ajana 1, Ajana 2, Azan, we will not give any post-retirement contract to anybody. But one day, one of these days, I will list the post-retirement contracts that have been given out since that letter was written under the hand of Abena Osei Sari, Deputy Finance Minister, who is going for re-election around the Enyidem area, right? And then also by the voice of Mr. Kenoforiata appearing before Parliament on record as is captured in the Hansard, and getting the same sentiments from government that we will not give anybody a post-retirement contract. I'll list all those contracts for you, and then I'll put it before you, as I said earlier, the letter saying, because of what we find ourselves in, we will not give any post-retirement contracts. And then the list of persons who have benefited from post-retirement contracts, including those whose post-retirement contracts have expired, but still remain at post. Apostle, they don't want to jam. And then ask you the credibility question and the integrity question, whether you can trust the very people who said, we will not do this, but have done this and have not apologized and continue to stay in it. I'll do that analysis for you in the coming days. Now, HEFRA, did you know that the Electricity Company of Ghana disconnected power from HEFRA? Did you know that? While the boss was away in the United States. the Electricity Company of Ghana disconnected power from Hefra. You know, we have not finished that ECG and the Simon Osei-Mensah saga in the Ashanti region, where the regional minister asked for the ECG manager to be arrested for doing his legitimate job. We have not finished that. He has not apologized. His boss has not sacked him. The impudence and the arrogance, it continues unabated. But Hefra was disconnected. And when ECG disconnects you, there are three things involved. One, that your meter may be faulty, or there may be a line that has been triggered or a fault that is triggered. That's one. Two, that you are indebted to ECG because you owe them and you have refused to pay, or you are too broke, you don't have the money to pay. And three, that you had done illegal connection. Now, what was Hefra's problem? Was it the third illegal connection? Is it the second that they cannot pay? Or is it the first that they had a faulty line or whatever it is? In the coming days, I will tell you. Assuming out the too much, but hold on to this one, for example. Now, take me to Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital. We'll start with let the retirees go and let the young grow. There's a certain Mr. Denchi, and I'm not sure he's related to our Jonathan Odro Denchi here at Media General. There's a certain Mr. Denchi who is due for retirement, who was given a contract extension within the same period that the government said, we will not give anybody any contract extension. He is supposed to be a principal biomedical scientist, right? Or a lab scientist, one of those nomenclature. The document is there, Mr. Denchi. Now, the question that comes to mind immediately when I see those letters are that there are biomedical scientists who are done with school, who have satisfied all the prerequisites, who are sitting at home and have been begging government consistently for financial clearance. In fact, you can count them as part of the 1.9 million unemployed young people in this country, who we are told every day, that jobs have been created in excess, to the point where Mr. John Boydu now at SIGA tells us that because of the policies that they are put in place, we'll get to a point where we'll now have to import people to come and work here. People are running away, and we know that for a fact. Professionals are running away, not just ordinary people, professionals, they are running away. And then I ask myself, if we continue to give a contract extension, put the letter up to Mr. Denchi, for example, and the contract is done, and Mr. Denchi doesn't want to leave, what do we do? Let's read the letter together. This is dated the 11th of January, 2024. It is to Mr. George Denchi, Accra, Ghana. Dear Sir, offer of post-retirement contract appointment. The letter was received on the 16th of January, 2024. This is to inform you that the hospital's management has offered you a post-retirement contract appointment for a period of 6 months as principal biomedical scientist in Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital. And if the principal biomedical scientist had gone home, we have had somebody who would have been promoted there, and another young person sitting at home this morning watching me, wondering where the next meal will come from, the next rent will come from, because they were promised rent and the rent has not been paid. Where, for example, if you were doing Okada business, they would have gotten a taxi in lieu, where all those things would have come from. They'll be wondering, why is this man still at post? Paragraph 2. The contract appointment takes retrospective effect. And I like that. That's why I said the letter that I referred to, the retrospective effect is always there. 4th December 2023 to 31st May 2024. The salary scale attached to this is all there, 4,000, blah, blah, blah. Your terms of conditions of service will be subject to the Ghana Health Service, we know all these ones. You report to the Director of Medical Affairs, blah, blah, blah. But effectively, the thing started on the 4th of December 2023. And Mr. Mann is supposed to have gone home on the 31st of May 2024. The letter is signed under, there's a signature under it by Dr. Ampoma. And guess what? I've told you earlier that Dr. Ampoma is the CEO of Korle-Bu. In terms of public administration or business administration or corporate governance, there's no way the CEO of a state-owned enterprise should also be the head of one of the directorates or departments, so that if Dr. Mpoma decides that he makes a request for gloves for the burns and surgery department of Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital, he then receives his own email for the request for procurement and goes to sit as CEO of Korle-Bu and approves it. Conflict of interest, clearly stated. I've said this thing here for more than a year. When I started this whole renal dialysis thing, where we allowed 19 people to die because we had money to do other things and not take care of our sick citizens. He signed that letter. Now, so you ask the question, what is Mr. Denchi still doing at post? Does he have no grandchildren to go to if he's still at post? And why is he holding on to that and maybe saying to his nephews and nieces who are employed that, oh, me bomb pay mamu debiase and me be mamu juma? It's unthinkable. It doesn't really make sense. Go to the top of the letter that you've been giving a post-retirement contract, which was even backdated from the 4th of December of 2023. You are supposed to have gone home on the 31st of May, 2024. And I've applauded Dr. Letitia Adelaide, I've forgotten the name, of the Population Council for saying that, oh, I'm going home. And there are many others who retire, they get to the age of 60, they say, no, I'm going home. Why can't others? And Mr. Denchi, I'm saying good morning to you. This morning, if you are preparing to take your bath to go to work, please, halt, pause, lay in your couch, play with your grandchildren. Don't go to work. I beg you. Because from 31st, since 31st of May 2024, whatever you are doing there, okay. Now, we'll get to Ghana Metro. And we'll pick the letters, the report, audit report, one after the other. We'll start from the header and we'll go down to the last signature. Right? Before that, Ghana Water Company, good morning to you. For those of us who grew up at Kaneshie, we know that where we pay our water bill is called social welfare. It's close to the Kaneshie police station. Right? Now, the social welfare also houses the Electoral Commission office, Ghana Water and ECG. Somebody who is over 80 years went there to pay water bill. He had walked from Bubuashi, come there to pay water bill. He didn't want Ghana Water coming to chase him. So he came there to pay water bill. 20 minutes to 4 p.m. This lady with burgundy hair, at 20 minutes to 4, said, I have closed. I have shut down the system. I won't take the money. Go away. Senior citizen over 80 years. Walks all the way. Says, I want to exercise. I want to stretch my loins. And he was within the time that this lady at Ghana Water Company, and I took the picture, we took the pictures and everything. If you do giddy, no, I'll put it up there. Me, I like to get everything before I start the thing. So when I start, nobody stops me. Ghana Water Company. Stanley Mate, good morning to you. Engineer Clifford Brima, good morning to you. Your staff there. Somebody came there 20 minutes to 4 last week. She said she had shut the system down. She refused to take the money. One. She was so insolent to this customer who is over 80 years. And she sent the customer away, disappointed. So if people now decide to do illegal connection, or people decide now are reluctant not to pay, now who costs them? But this individual will get their salaries anyway. That's the level of insolence and incompetence in the system. Let's go to the audit service. Ghana Meteorological Agency, we love them. We work with them every morning. I have said that Ghana Meteorological Agency, for example, when we had an audit report, and I'm reading another audit report, and they were owed $10 million, I fought for them, and some of that monies were paid. So I love them. But let's read the report together. This is a report dated the 23rd of February 2024 to the Acting Director General, Ghana Meteorological Agency. I'm going to do a series. I heard they had an emergency meeting, etc. We'll do now. It's a management letter to the audit of the Ghana on the audit of the Ghana Meteorological Agency for the period ended 1st of January to 31st of December Let's go to the next page. Okay, the audit of the Ghana Meteorological Agency has been carried out in accordance with our statutory mandate under Article. Please put the document out, not my face. I'm not the document. Article 1872 of the 1992 Constitution and Section 11(1) of the Audit Service Act 2000, Act 584. We bring to your attention the following observations and recommendations made during the audit. We have discussed these matters with the key personnel concerned whose comments and responses, where appropriate, have been taken into consideration while preparing this management letter. So they have been heard. I don't want to hear rejoinder that we have not been heard. Okay. 3, we shall be grateful to receive your written response within 30 days after receipt of this management letter as required under Section 29(1) of Act 584. This should provide the implementation level of the audit recommendation in relation to the agreed action plan. Let's go to the next page. Now, objective of the audit. The object of the audit were to obtain the assurance that 1, accounts have been properly kept. 2, all public monies have been fully accounted for, and rules and procedures applicable are sufficient to ensure an effective check on the assessment, collection, and proper allocation of the new revenue. 3, monies have been expended for the purpose for which they were appropriated, and the expenditures have been made as authorized. 4, essential records are maintained, and the rules and procedures applied are sufficient, to safeguard and control public property. And 5, programs and activities have been undertaken with due regard to the economy, and etc. Now, the scope of the audit. 1 is to review corporate management. 2, asset management. 3, cash management. 4, transport management. 5, procurement and stores management. And 6, the validation of the financial statements. It's covered the period of 1st January to the 31st of December 2023. It was conducted by the external audit team. Now, the audit methodology is also there. Let's go to the personnel, the key personnel. It's just down there. So Acting Director General Eric Suman is one of the key personnel. Acting Director of Finance, Daniel Soglo. Charles Badu is the Director of Administration, and Joseph Babi is the Head of Procurement. So these are it. Now let's get into the summaries. And I need you to pick up your phone and let's do some calculation. Monies that have been spent by the Ghana Meteorological Agency that the audit service says we do not have proper understanding. And this happened between January and December 2023. We are in July 2024. Now, the following are summaries of significant findings and recommendations. Payments with a total value of 110,219 cedis 50 pesos made in respect of fuel and other logistical expenses were not receipted by the third-party vendors. We recommended that the Director General of Finance demands for stamped official receipts from third-party vendors for all payments made. Let's go to the next page. And this matters I'm talking about, IOCO knows about it. Office of Special Prosecutor knows about it. Shraj knows about it. Now, the agency made payments totaling 285,778 Ghana cedis, 21 pesos. Add that to the 110,000. Without the appropriate supporting documents, such as minutes of meetings, certificates of work done, and organizational policies to substantiate the payments, we recommended that the Director of Finance attaches the requisite evidence to substantiate the payments, failure of which the amount will be disallowed. 3. An amount of 281, and you see this 285, I'll tell you whether there's a funeral and board, something in the mix later. We'll do a series. An amount of 281,404.84 Ghana cedis and a US dollar of $14,944.35. If you use the 15 cedis, don't add the coins to it to do the calculation, was allocated for facilitation of the various activities. However, the supporting documents amounted to 147. So 281,414.84. You deduct 147,709 Ghana cedis, 72 pesos from it. And then also you deduct $900 from the dollar, the 14,944.35 cents, leaving an amount of 132 Ghana cedis, 132,000 Ghana cedis, 705.12 and $14,000 and $44.35 not accounted for. We recommend that the Director of Finance ensures that the remaining balance is accounted for and evidence provided for our review. Now, the next one says, management paid a total amount of $64,300 as TNT to board members who have already been paid their sitting allowance for board meeting. This one is extra cash that they gave to board members who had already received their monies. We recommended that the Acting Director General ensures the recovery of the amounts involved. The next one says, various sums of monies amounting to 37,270 Ghana cedis paid to 13 staff and some board members of the agency as allowances had not been fully receipted. We recommended that the Director of Finance ensures that all the beneficiaries sign the claim sheet for our review. The next one says that the agency through the ICRA project procured and paid, and this to the IT people, 51,200 Ghana cedis to First Microtech World, a Lenovo ThinkPad X13 outside the procurement plan of the agency and not channeled through the procurement unit. Listen, outside the procurement plan of the agency and not channeled through the procurement unit. In addition, a fictitious VAT and NHIL invoice, VAT service invoice with no supplier's tax identification number and stamp was provided in support of the payment. We recommended to the Acting Director General to refund the amount to the GMet project. Now, here's what's interesting. This company, Microtech World, I'll tell you who is behind it, and I'll tell you whether at the time that Ghana Metro contacted them, they were qualified at that point to go and transact business of that sort, and why they gave that fictitious VAT receipt. Let's go to the next one, please. Let's have the next one. It's just about two more, then we finish it quickly, please. Let's finish it today. If not, tomorrow the series will be confusing. Right. Now, please enlarge it for me so that the viewers can see it. We also spent a total amount of 22,000, right? This is what we're talking. Take me to the first paragraph, please. Please, I beg you. Now, that's the first one. There's 22,000 at the top. Let's go to it. People are doing calculation. Let's go to the first paragraph, please. Thank you. The agency charged various clients a total of, I can't see it, you have to let me see it, 22,171 Ghana cedis as parking fee, right? We'll go to the next one because of time. Management paid a total amount of 21,305 Ghana cedis to repair its vehicle with registration number GV 132.19 and a Toyota Vitz vehicle which was involved in an accident. The agency failed to insure the same vehicle prior to the accident, and we also did not cite a police report on the accident. We recommended that the Acting Director General ensures the amount is refunded to CHEST and produce for our review the police audit report or accident report. There's also a validation of an employee, Mr. Hansel Ajiman. He has left the company. Some 2,000 something was given to him. Right, 2,726 Ghana cedis, 20 pesos was given to him. The monies have not been recovered. Look, show me the calculations. Maybe we'll get to it later because I'm being rounded up. So show me the calculations. I've done the calculations. I wanted to read so that nobody comes to say that we're just saying something and we have not been heard, because usually the state institutions, all of them, they come back, say, oh, we have not been heard, blah, blah, blah. So we'll do the calculation. Now, the total amounts that I saw in this audit report, and tomorrow we'll continue from where we have left off. There is 1,227,174 Ghana cedis, 60 pesos that accrued last year. From the last year, the previous year's 2022 audit report, that had not been paid. So remember the 110, right? Remember 285. Remember 132. Remember 64. You remember 37. You remember 51,200 for the laptop. Then you remember 22,171. Then you remember 21,000. We would have gotten to 10,000, 2,000 for that salary, and then 784. Then there's another dollar from last year, 5,922. If you put all together and even decide that, oh, the dollar will cost you 15 cedis, to exchange, you are going to get 298,815 Ghana cedis that Ghana Metro couldn't explain where the money had gone. If you put all together, you are talking about some 2.3 million cedis that the Ghana Metro has not been able to explain. I will tell you tomorrow about some of their vehicles and how a former director general is holding on to a certain vehicle as we speak. The audit service couldn't find the vehicle. I'll tell you about how a minister of state is holding on to some vehicles. I will tell you some more things about Ghana Metro. But please call me now. 055-924-2717 and 055-691-0154. Good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
Odewale.
International.
Talk to me.